Welcome to another episode of ReWilding for Women, where we talk about empowerment. We talk about practices that take us into parts of self to open, to awaken, to enliven, to all parts of self. I'm your host, Sabrina Lynn, and really excited for this episode today. It was recorded in our Facebook group as a live stream, and it's on our best kept secrets for journeying deeply within. So what I attempt to do is give you as much as I can around how to journey deeply, best practices to get into the depths of self, best supports to get into the depths of self, or the heights of self, right? So the big practices, not the surface level stuff that's really mental and really left brain, but to dive in. And so I originally created this for our inner circle members, but thought, why not share this with all women who are journeying deeply? So it's not just our circle that journeys deeply, but wanted to share the best kept secrets from ReWilding with all of you. So it is a dedication to our inner circle members, which, if you're listening to this before January 1st, is open to any woman who wants to journey deeply with ReWilding. And I'll talk more about that in the episode a little bit, right? It's not a sales pitch. It's just sharing a tiny little bit about what is the inner circle. But just know that it's totally open to you, whether you're watching this before the 1st of January 2018 or after the 1st of January 2018. Inner Circle's open. It's a constant journey that we're doing. Also, if you're not a subscriber to ReWilding for Women, you can do so on our website. Subscribers get lots of subscriber-only content, subscriber-only invitations, and yada, 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 yada. We love our members. So if you're not a subscriber, you can do that at rewildingforwomen.com. All right, enough of me talking. Enjoy the episode. But today, what I want to do is I want to do something a little bit different than I normally do in live streams. I know. Katie, hi, beautiful. Nice to see you, Miss Turner. I want to do something a little bit different. I want to give you the best practices and things for traveling deeply. I'm loving all the hearts, ladies. I love being in this circle with you. Stephanie, I see you, gorgeous woman. Kelly Carpenter, hi, gorgeous. So I want to share all of those things that have taken me, I don't know, years to uncover, and have witnessed lots of different ways, different doorways in, different access points, because we're all different, we're all uniquely wired. One particular practice might resonate or might take a woman into a certain part of self or into the depths, or peel off some of those masks or open her to something, where another woman, it's a completely different practice. So I don't want to talk too much about practices. I want to talk more about best ways to journey deep. I don't want to talk about surface level journeying. Like I said in the email that I sent out today, you can read about that in lots of self-help books. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there to kind of talk about surface level journeys. I want to talk about the depths. And I think that's partially what makes ReWilding different, is that we go deep, right? It's not a journey for everybody. I'm the first person to say that. It's not for everybody. It's the deep dive. It's going in, it's the big stuff, like kind of yeah, I don't need to talk about all that. I think you all know, otherwise you wouldn't be here on this live with me. Be good to see you, gorgeous. Susie, hi, beautiful. Okay, so I say we open up circle, oh yeah. So let me just finish up. The reason, or the way that I want to make it a little bit different is I want to open it up to questions. So I want to talk for a little while, and then I want to open the conversation up to questions that you might have, specific questions about journeying deep, or about anything that comes up in this video, things that I talk about. So if you want to take notes, or if you're just really good at remembering questions that you've got, I can't get to questions until kind of the end when I say, like, hey, it's open for questions. Otherwise, I will have to scroll back through all the comments and I'm not that good at that. So let's just wait until I kind of open the door to the comments. But I'm super open to comments, which is totally new and totally different, but I say we go for it. Okay, so let's breathe. Let's come into the depths of self. So if you're just joining us, we're just starting to open up to some of those best practices for journeying deeply, regardless of what kind of modality you're working in. So opening, right? So starting to breathe, starting to drop into the body, starting to sink. So a great practice that I like to do just as a starting off practice for deepening is to imagine that your mind is like melting butter, and you just let, using the breath and using visualization if that works, or using body movement, so even like a bit of a bounce or a bit of a movement helps. And you just start to let everything sink. So you're letting everything deepen. Your whole being is starting to deepen. Your consciousness is starting to deepen. You're dropping out of this buzzy. So if you heard me starting off our talk today, I was very buzzy, very in my head. It was like, and you can tell when someone's coming from that place because it's very fast, it's very mind, it's very mental. So we're going past that, right? So starting to drop, and now you can feel like the change in my voice because my consciousness has dropped. So right now I'm about at my heart. And so you just keep breathing and you just keep melting. And you keep sinking and you trust your body, right? So if there's a movement, so if you can see my body kind of move, because I'm just bringing things down. And so breathing, using visualization if that helps, if that visualizing melting butter, starting up at the top of your head and just moving all the way down the body, working its way down through the heart, using the breath, and you're deepening, 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 deepening. Into the solar plexus, into your hips, down into first chakra area, down into legs, down, 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 deepening, 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 down through the bottom of your feet, down into the earth beneath you. So if we're talking about deepening practices, we kind of have to energetically come from that place, which is why I open circle this way. So from this really connected place, and if you're just joining us, we're just deepening. It's just a practice to deepen and to sink in. If we're going to journey into the depths of our consciousness, we energetically want to get there. So if we take our physical body there and we take our awareness there, suddenly the whole journey ahead shifts. So deepening, deepening, deepening. A great practice is to go into the womb. You can go into the depths of the depths of the depths by using womb space, or you can go down into the earth is another great practice. So just feeling, breathing, trusting. So for me right now, it's a lot of energy focused in my womb, which is just deep. It's deepening me, it's sinking me in, it's moving me out of mental left brain garbage into this deeper wisdom, wiser knowing, right? Like the seat of my power. So breathing, feeling, opening. And if you're just joining us, we're just deepening. We're deepening into a practice in order to come from a place, in order to open up our circle, to talk about how to go deep, to talk about how to journey deeply. So from this place of depth, this place of really sunk in, starting to imagine that you are sitting in a circle of gorgeous women, which is what you are. So starting to feel into this big, potent, sacred circle that we all sit in. So whether you're here live or you're listening to this later, we are in this vortex of energy. So can you breathe open to that? So now here's another deepening practice. Feeling into the vortex that has just been created in this big circle, right? So can you breathe? Can you open? Using your breath, using your body. Whenever your body starts to breathe open, all you're doing now is opening. So we went deep, Now we're opening. We're opening to this sacred space, this present moment. Right now, we are all sitting here in this circle. So can you start to breathe? Can you start to feel? Can you start to deepen? Can you start to open more? So in-depth journey, it's about using more than the 5 senses, right? So we're opening, starting to feel. What is your body doing? Trusting your body, trusting the emotions. What's arising for you? So now starting to just feel self. If you're just joining us, just feel self. What's going on for you? What's happening in your body? How does it want to move? So now within this big circle, now that we've opened, first we've deepened, we've sunk in. Now we've opened to this big vortex of Shakti, which I'll talk about in a second. Let's do an I see you. Right now, this is the rewilding I see you. This is the I see all of you. The divinity in me sees the divinity in you, right? I see past the like surface level stuff. We're talking depth here. We're going deep. So you want, my heart sees your heart. My womb sees your womb. That place. And hearts and comments and likes and whatever else to kind of build. And you can feel, right? Can you feel this? My heart sees your heart. Not just my eyes see your eyes. Like that's like, if it is my eyes see your eyes, it's I see into the depths of your soul. I see all parts of you, right? This is part of the depths. Is the I see everything in you, not just one little thing that I want to see in you, right? Not just what I want to perceive in you. It's I see all of you, and I'm open to all of you. Oh, gosh, I wish you were all on this front porch with me. My God, I have such a yumminess for us all. And I saw a comment before, it's cold. It is cold. I think it's like 32 degrees Fahrenheit here. So I think that's 0, right? Celsius. But I'm really roasting. Okay, I love you ladies. The hearts are amazing. So let's drop in back into the depths. So if that doesn't make any sense to you, what you can do is just take your awareness from just this mental realm and then bring your awareness to your womb space. So this is a super simple practice. If it feels right to put a hand on your heart, maybe it's heart space for you that drops you in deeper, or it's womb space. So what it is that we're first working on doing when we journey into the depths is we've got to get past the monkey mind. We've got to get past all of the garbly gook that runs on this thing. We've got to move beyond that, right? There's a beautiful Christian mystic who I absolutely love, Teresa of Avila. You probably hear me talk about her. And she was talking about the mind cannot go there with me, right? So when she gets to these heights of spiritual union, or tantric union, she had this very tantric relationship with the Christ light. And when she gets to these heights, she will say, the mind cannot go there with me. The mind has to stay behind. So part of this depth journey is the mind has to stay behind. So that's what we're doing. This is one of the biggest things I can tell you is practices, is spaces. So just you being in this space, now I'm hot, I'm sweating. So just you being in this space already starts to shift your consciousness. When one woman is able to go somewhere and you are in that energy, you are tuning your radio station to that frequency, right? Whether you're on the other side of the planet or this is another time, what you're doing is we can tune into any station. I can tune into the news station and then I can go off crazy brain. I could tune into some crappy romance movie that makes me want to cry and feel really pitiful and sorry for myself. Or I can tune in here to where there is somebody or there is a group of somebodies who is going deeper. So journeying deeper. And when one person goes through that door, it is easier for everybody else to go through that door, right? So it's this holding of this particular depth, or we could talk about this particular height. Kind of the same thing. That might not make any sense to you, but it's this altered state of consciousness, right? So wherever that is, right? It's just tuning your radio dial into it. So I think this is making sense because there's lots of hearts. So hopefully that's all making sense. So that's the next tip around journeying deeply, right? Is finding spaces, finding people, finding circles or groups or whatever where they are opening the door to go deeper or to go higher. Not like mental realm higher, right? But opening to like the big light that's coming in. So finding those spaces. And something to kind of talk about here is there's a knowing in you. Like when the teacher shows up, you kind of know it. Or when the right modality or practices or energetics or the right circle shows up, you kind of know it. It doesn't always come with like flowers and banners and celebratory balloons. Sometimes it comes with like shit scared. Like, I don't know, right? So one of the biggest things that I can share is when women come to ReWilding for the first time or take a journey for the first time with me or our circle, it's oftentimes I'm excited and scared. So that is the comment I hear the most is I'm excited and scared. And there's some wisdom in there. There's wisdom in there. Scared because the unknown and expansion is always scary. Pushing ourselves, opening to the depths and what's in there and our allness and our bigness and growing, right? Expansion is always scary. So there should be an element of like, ee, right? Maybe I shouldn't say should be, but oftentimes there is an element of ee. But then there's also this like, excited, like, what could this mean? Like, my whole body's like reacting. Pay attention to tingles, pay attention to heart openings, pay attention to whatever it is that starts to come up. But it can also be like, no. And trust those too, right? So all of this is about starting to know thyself, know your markers, know how your intuition speaks to you, how your deep wisdom talks to you. It talks to us all very differently, but starting to know how does your wisdom talk to you, those deeper knowings talk to you. So that's part of the journeying deeply is the space for you, and what sings to you may not sing to the woman next to you or the woman next to her. So trusting, first and foremost, trusting. Now something that just popped into my mind that I want to share with you is when you start to journey deeply, the old groups that you hung out in that may not be journeying deeply with you, there's going to be some stuff going on there, right? Because you're starting to open up to more, to new, to different, to bigger, to bolder, to the depths. And you don't always fit here where this persona is. So I just want to share that because I also hear that a lot of times is I've started this journey into self, but now suddenly I don't quite fit with my friends. Like, who can resonate? Like, I would love to hear comments. I would love to see hearts. Who has experienced this? So now it's almost this like aloneness or shit, maybe I don't want to. Maybe I don't want to grow. Maybe I don't want to journey in deep. Maybe I don't want to expand because I'm losing my friends. I feel like I'm losing my family. I don't fit in anymore. And so there's this dance of like, right? Look at all the hearts. So and all the yeses. So I want you to know that that's part of it. That's part of it. And I think part of the reason why we crave tribe and we crave sisterhood is part of what we're craving is this acceptance of our allness, is a group and a space that accepts our allness, that accepts our growth, right? Into the heights. Not this hold you down, pull you back, because I'm not comfortable with you going to your heights, right? Do we all know that? Like, I know in Australia they call it the tall poppy syndrome. I had no idea what the heck that was, but it describes it so well. And that's kind of society. Like, that's kind of the collective. We sit in that collective energy of jealousy, of comparing, right? How often do we find ourselves comparing? And this is the next point I need to talk about is we were trained as little ones, as little girls, to compare. I'm not as skinny as the girl in the magazine. I might not be as pretty as, like, it's this compare. And I remember hearing this once, like, women who, you're going out to look for men, right? You're on, like, the manhunt, and you go into a bar, and women will first look at other women to feel into what's my competition. Wow, that's weird. Aren't we weird? Like, aren't we wired weird? How did that happen? Is that I don't go to feel like what's in my heart, where's my heart, you know, like, where's my resonance? Is there a resonance with anybody in this room? I go to feel like, all right, who's my competition? What bitch is gonna get in my way? We're crazy. That's like old shit, right? That's old shit. That's sister wound shit. But I bring that up because when we start to journey deeper, a lot of this stuff will come up from old groups, family patterning, friends from high school, or friends from however long ago, who have us defined as a certain person, and they kind of hold us in that role, or in that box, or in that definition. And I would love, like, just keep sharing comments, because I think the more you all share together, the more, like, insights come, and the more everybody kind of feels like, wow, shit, I'm not alone on this. So part of a deep journey tip, I hate the word tip, that makes it sound so lame, insight or best practice, is finding somebody who is like a soul friend, right? Or a group, a circle, a tribe who holds the intention of, I am here to support you to open to your allness, whatever that might be. It might be bigger than what I perceive as my allness, right? Like, that's the dumbest thing on the planet, because that doesn't even exist, right? But to find soul friend or soul group, or right, where it's deeper than that, it's open. There's room for expansion. There's room to grow. There's room to explore self and to embody more and to awaken to more. Even if it's one friend, or even if it's ReWilding online circle, if that feels right for you, or inner circle, or what mysteries, whatever, or another circle, I don't care, right? Whatever. Finding someone or some group that can help hold that. There is power in the witness. So this is the next thing I want to talk about, is sometimes we journey so alone, right? I come across so many women who have journeyed so alone, out of bad experiences, out of, I just don't fit anywhere. I love how Clarissa Pinkola Estes talks about it in her book, The Scar Clan. The Scar Clan. Like, you just don't fit. Like, you were born, and she talks about, like, the zygote. What is that? If somebody can remember, like, what's the zygote? You were born into the family. You were born into the family, but you just don't quite fit there, right? Like, so many of us on these journeys into the depths of self, and we're like, hey, I'm on this ride. I'm in this life to fully experience life. I want to open to my allness. I want to peel back the false layers. I want to know who the hell I am, right? I want to live from that place, instead of living from this place of feeling like, I know there's more. There's gotta be more to this. I sat in that for years, right? I remember being married in my 20s, early 20s, and I was like, wow, like, I've got this corporate job, I've got this husband, I've got the boats, the cars, the house, the, white picket fence, basically. I had everything that everyone told me would be good, and I was going, this can't be it, because there's got to be more. Like, I'm just not, what? There is more, right? So the power of the witness. A witness helps to anchor things into this physical world. So when we're journeying deep, so imagine a shamanic journey. Imagine you go to a place that is beyond the left brain, that is beyond ego, small mind comprehension. You go to this place and it is a miraculous spiritual awakening, right? And it's huge, it's beautiful, it's wild, it's big. And you come back and you're like, oh yeah, that probably didn't really happen. I was probably just making that up. Okay, how many of you have had that experience? Right? We so can rationalize that stuff. So there's a power in the witness, but a witness who can hold space for you from a non-judgmental, totally unconditional, loving, all-accepting space, whether that be a mentor, a teacher, a group, that soul friend, whatever, can hold it. And what happens now is it helps to take this esoteric, wild experience that you could rationalize away, and it helps to anchor it, right? It helps to anchor it in you, into the physical. It helps to you're bringing it in, sister, right? That's the feminine path. The feminine magic is us bringing it in. It's not, we're dancing out, we're just we're going out to the light and just hanging out. No, we're going to reach the light and we're bringing it in. Like, it's the divinization of the fullness of me, like divinizing my body. So why would you not want to bring that in? Like, we've decided to have this human life. You're going to be human until you die. Like, there's no getting around that. I haven't found any way around that. So we're going to be human until we die. Why not bring in as much of the divine as we can, or the light as we can, right? Like, it's that whole, like, it is heaven on earth. We just have to open our eyes and awaken to it. So anyways, there's the power in the witness. I also want to, here's a huge one. So, I love you ladies. Like, gosh, you all make me so happy and so alive. I want to talk a little bit about one of the most important things on journey. So this is whether it's a solo journey, whether it's in a group journey, whatever, a depth journey is no judgment. And I talk about this in every single workshop, every single retreat that we do, is to have zero judgment of self, right? We're kind of good at not judging the other. Like, we're pretty compassionate. We are our harshest critics. We are our own harshest critic, our own judge. And so it's that constant, like, comparison of somebody else's journey, or the constant beating the crap out of yourself because it should look different, or it should be different, or maybe I'm not doing this right. Like, I can see a woman who's in a rewilding circle, right? We're rewilding together. She's having a full body, not just like a sexual awakening, but this is a full body spiritual awakening, right? This is like Lolita, pure sexual sacred magic, like rolling through her. She has just opened up to this glorious thing within self. And then there's another woman who's standing maybe a couple feet away, who's energetically like vomiting out old residue, right? The rubble, right? And sometimes, like, that's a really good way for the body to clear, by the way. So if that's happening to you, I think somebody mentioned that in the group today. But so if that's happening, like, get it out. That's just old gooey stuff. That's old energetic stuff, and that's your body's wisdom clearing out ancient residue. The rubble, that's the rubble. So woman over here is having this like glorious sexual tantric spiritual awakening, and she's seeing the woman down from her like like heaving out old stuff. Woman over here goes like, oh shit, I might be doing this wrong. What? What? How did we get programmed like that, right? How does this crazy brain work? And so that's probably one of the biggest things that I can tell you. And so for those of you who are doing the inner journey with me and with rewilding, we're going to go into 36 archetypal energies, 36 of the most potent, powerful, energetic forces within, right? The gods and the goddesses. This is going to open up doors, but you don't know what's behind that door. So we may be opening the door to, let's just say, Parvati, right? Goddess of sacred sexual union, goddess of the divine marriage. Beautiful energy to work with, very similar to Mary Magdalene. So if you loved Mary Magdalene, you're going to want to experience Parvati. That's who we talked about last week, in case you're wondering. And so I have no idea what I was talking about. Wow, that stinks. And so we open this one door to Parvati, and I don't know what's behind it for me. I don't know what's behind it for you until we open that door. What might happen is we open that door to Parvati, and it's like, whoa, we need to declog the line. We got to get that rubble out, because this old energy is what's preventing me from having sacred marriage in life, from having sexual bliss and joy. It's this rubble that's sitting right here. I need to get that. So we open that door, and then that might be like the energetic release of whatever that is. And by the way, this happens in your living room too. So if some of this starts to happen whenever we're doing this archetypal work, trust it. No judgment. Get a bucket, get some tissues, go with it. This is all we're working with the highest, most divine energy in your body, right? The wisest. It's the body wisdom. It goes way beyond this thing. It's the wisdom that knows how to heal, knows how to open, knows how to awaken, knows how to have tantric love-making sessions for 1 billion hours and to reach the heights of spiritual and sexual ecstasy, right? Like that, it's in you. I promise you, it's in you. It's in all of us. It's just, we just have to clear the blockages. So it's different. And it's walking into everything, whether it be in the inner circle with me, going into the archetypes, or working with Shakti, or whether it be doing shamanic journeys, or whatever other sort of deep dive practices or big mama opening practices that you're doing. Whatever the case may be, it's going into them with absolute childlike curiosity. Right? Like, I have no idea what's going to happen. Even if I've worked with Mary Magdalene 33 times before, I never know what's going to come up. Because the wiser part that is far beyond my left brain is running the ship now. And that's how we work in rewilding, right? That's what we're doing. We're working with Shakti. We're working with the divine wisdom in your body. And you might be thinking like, yeah, I don't have that. You do, and we'll work with it. We are, like every video, you're opening up to a circle that lives from that place. You're sitting in a circle with women who are extraordinarily open to the feminine divine wisdom within, to body wisdom, to big mama magic, right? So it's this, I have no idea what's gonna happen. I am totally open and I have no judgment to it. And then it's to follow the energy, right? So when you're in the practice, when let's say we're going into some archetypal practices, or maybe we're doing some shamanic practices. So when you're in those practices, it's to continue to follow the thread and to watch for when this thing kicks on, right? Or you do the runner. So if you're in the middle of let's just go back to like the derubbling clearing, right? Like there's this stuff coming out and then suddenly you're like, oh, wow, what am I gonna buy at the grocery store tomorrow? Well, that's a defense mechanism. So it's, okay, wait, where was I just before that happened? Oh yeah. So you go back in, I was right here. Oh, that's right, I hit fear. And that was my protection mechanism to skate out. So you come back and then you follow the energy. Okay, what is my body doing? What is the energy doing? And then you create a relationship with this energy in your body, with Shakti, right? So you create this relationship. So following the energy isn't like some esoteric out there thing. It's a very sacred relationship, and it's a strong relationship. And working through the archetypal energies in this fashion develops that relationship with all of those different threads of Shakti, right? So that's how we can talk about archetypal energies or goddesses, is they're just threads of Shakti. They're just threads of life force, right? What's the expression of that particular thread in you right now? That's it, right? So is that particular thread, is it dormant? It might not have ever been opened or awakened. It's there. It's just not that you've ever been initiated into it, right? It's just the door. Like, don't get caught up on initiation, that's garbage. But it's just that door has not been opened. So maybe it's dormant, or maybe it's distorted, right? Maybe that line is kinked, right? Maybe it's just like, and it's coming out in like really like strange, do you see my body? Like, how do I make these weird moves? But that's how it feels to me, is it's like the energy's trying to move and it's like the body's like, right? So that's like a distorted, and so it's just unkinking the line, de-rubbling, unkinking the line. And then there's the divine expression of it, right? Like it is open, like that energy can really flow through me, right? So some people say like, oh, Sabrina, you can bring these goddesses through so easily, and channeling is I think that's really been like I think there's a lot of weird connotations around that, but I'm not special about that. I've just done the work. That's it, right? Like, and of course they'll express through us all differently. So just because my role in this particular life happens to be opening the door for lots of people all around the planet, doesn't mean that that's what the Shakti is going to do for you. But now that particular thread of Shakti will run through you. It will divinely express through you. How it expresses through you is unique to you, right? How you love, how you create, what you create, who you serve is uniquely your path. But that line is open, and that's when I talk about allness, and I talk about fullness, right? The whole spectrum of things. Okay, wow, that's a lot of talk. Before I open to questions, I am opening up to questions, by the way. So if you can start to think of questions, now is a really good time. But I do want to invite all of you to join us in Inner Circle. So Inner Circle is what I was just talking about. It launches January 1st. It's our way of going through the 36 archetypal energies, and you don't have to leave your house, right? It's this, but with the practices, and we go through one archetype a month plus one theme a month. So you get 2 video workshops, 2 online workshops a month, plus all the support, plus an email a week, plus a playlist to dive into these things, plus a homework sheet of support practices, plus a Facebook group where we're all hanging out. So it's like, I really, really feel this. This is crazy. I know. I sound like a crazy kookpot. But I seriously think that this will be the biggest, deepest, most potent online women's circle in the world. Like, that's my aim. And even if there's 50 of us in there, I don't care. I still think it's going to be the biggest, deepest, most potent online women's circle in the world. That's my aim. My aim is to give you and to open space to that, the practices, that's my aim. That's my aim. I don't care how big it is. I just care how deep we can go and how high we can go and how much we can open. That's it. And how much we can hold that love space. Yeah. Okay, so that's my invitation to you for Inner Circle, and also just want to really give a shout out to the women who have said yes to Inner Circle and have said yes to being a founding sister. So as a founding sister, right, that's the first women to kind of come to Circle, and we're creating it as we go along. So huge, like, I couldn't do it without you. So the women who have said yes, and the women who are coming to Circle and are on their way to coming to Circle, before we kick off, like, you're making this happen, because without you, it wouldn't exist, right? The deepest, biggest, most potent online women's circle in the world wouldn't happen. So, big love to you all, and to anybody who might be feeling that call, just go to our website. There's a link at the top that says Inner Circle, and that's it. All the details are there. That's all. Okay, so I love you all so much. My God. I just want to see if there are any questions. So I'm kind of scrolling through. This is so weird. I'm so not used to this question thing. Plus all the Australian Mystery School sisters. So Nicola, I just want to comment on what you just shared, is that Mystery School women have been journeying through rewilding, some of them since the very start of rewilding. They hold a really, really magnificent, deep, wild, potent place. They are all a part of Inner Circle. So it's not just me that's bringing like the juice, It's women who've been rewilding for, some of them for 2 years, who are also bringing in the juice. It's a cool place to be. Oh no! Sorry, I just swiped to lose the comments. This might have been a really bad idea. Oh wait, here's one, I think. You can't write super long ones because it cuts off. How weird is that? Question, what can I do when I dive deep but my husband does not follow? He accepts it but does not come with me. Feeling like moving away from him the deeper I go. How do I cope with this? And there might be more, but that's the only part that I see. This is one of the biggest questions that gets asked in rewilding. Biggest is, I'm diving deep. What about my partner? There's a lot I can say on this. I could actually do I was gonna do an entire episode on this, to be honest with you, but really short and really sweet. We've all got soul contracts with each other. Some of our soul contracts are for a lifetime. Some of them are not for a lifetime. Sometimes we are living from old paradigms of, once I'm married, I need to stay married forever. Well, that paradigm may not be true for you anymore. Sometimes our paths split. So it's the same thing as the old friend group, only we're way more attached to partners and to people we're married to. But it's the same thing as the old friend group. Is there room for me to grow? Now, I don't need to take my friends with me because it might not be their path, right? Like my old high school friends or my old college friends or whatever, it may not be their path. My job is not to drag them along on Sabrina's soul path and Sabrina's awakening, Sabrina's opening, because it's not theirs. They have to honor theirs and we have to honor theirs, right? So it's a constant feeling, right? It's the same thing with a friend, only we have so much more attachment to partners that we're with. But it's this constant feeling of, okay, I have changed. Do we still jive? Do we still want to do this? There was this beautiful relationship that Kelly shared with me, friends of hers. Each year on their anniversary, they look at each other and they say, do you want to do it again? It allows for growth, it allows for room, it allows for that constant choice, right? Do I want to still be friends with my college friends? Or are they still just drinking beer and having a good old time and we actually I'm not really supporting their soul path anymore, they're not really supporting my soul path anymore. Like it's done. So it's different in every case, it's different in every scenario. We need to honor our path, us, but we also need to honor the path of the other, and their path may not be our path. And we may just go this way. And that's probably the biggest thing that I can say. And the other thing is when you start to deepen, is to be as true, as real, as authentic, and as honest as you can be. As honest as you can be. No matter how much it might freak that person out, or it's to not hide, and to just be open and to be honest with that person. I hope that helps. We need to do a whole episode on that because clearly I just talked about it for like 10 minutes. Question, oh yeah, good. Thoughts about doing guided meditations. Is it still, thought about doing guided meditations. It's still challenging to do this alone at home. Yeah. Julie, that's a really great question. There will be a lot of guided meditations in Inner Circle, and I know you're doing Inner Circle. I know you are. I don't know if we'll do guided meditations. I don't know if I'll ever just put out guided meditations. We've been invited to, like Insight Timer has asked us to put out meditations, but we just haven't. So, I don't really know on that. Okay. Let's see. What else have I missed? Oh my gosh. This is so crazy. I'm so bad at doing questions. Oh, I think I got all the questions. Oh, here we go. Tips to overcome blocks from becoming your authentic self. Rachel, great question. So tips to overcoming blocks from becoming your authentic self. Wow, there's so much on this one too. Jeez. Good question, woman. Okay, so blocks. So did you hear me talk about that one block in that practice that I was just talking about before of if there is a point that I get to, right? So I'm in a practice where it's opening me up to my allness and my fullness, and I hit fear and I skate it out. That's a block. That's a block to becoming my full self. Now that's on a real, sorry, this thing keeps falling. That's on a real energetic level, but an energetic level or a physical level, doesn't matter what level you're working on. Anything that's blocking you from becoming your full self, first you have to notice it, right? So first, when I'm out here thinking about the grocery list, I have to recognize that I'm out here thinking about the freaking grocery list when I was just vomiting my guts out, de-rubbling, right? So first you need to be aware of it. Sometimes others can help to really make us aware of things. So you've probably seen this if you're in like a deep partnership. They will show you things that nobody else can. Or sacred circles. So we could talk about the mystery school circle. I just did a video for those girls, and it's a container that is a very, very, very big love space, big trust. And when you are in a big trust-filled love space, it allows for us to see things that we wouldn't normally see, because we normally operate on surface level, right? Like you've probably even got kind of a surface level relationship with most of your family members, most of your friends. It's kind of this surface level thing. Not all of us do, and not all of our relationships are that, but so the first step is the awareness to, I'm aware of the block. If you're not aware of the block, you'll never even know that the block exists, right? So it's the awareness of the block. And then it's so this is from an energetic standpoint, what was happening just before I blocked myself? Where was I? What was going on? Oh, that's right, I was energetically vomiting. Okay, so let me go back to that. What was I feeling? What was coming? Oh, shoot. It was serious fear. Like it was serious fear, and it was, and then you go into it. So you go into the depths, like as deep as you can get to, right? Like how deep can you get? Get to the roots of it. Like I don't want you just like mowing the lawn, like, oh, here's some blocks. Let me just go like with my riding lawnmower and I'm gonna go mow the lawn. No. It's like go out there, grab the grass or weed or whatever the hell it is, and you grab it by the roots and you'll look at it, right? Like you get in there, like, what is this feeling? What is this block? So instead of coming from a fear place, because most of it is just like really silly anyways, most of it's past life stuff or early childhood stuff or traumas that we don't even comprehend, and we don't sometimes even need to comprehend. So when you're working on super deep levels, sometimes you don't even know what's coming out. You don't know what root you're pulling out, but you know you're pulling out a root. And then suddenly you're like, holy shit, I'm having full body orgasms. No idea how that happened, but it's because I went to the depths of that block. I didn't just mow the lawn. I went in, like, what was the fear? Oh, that's right, and this is what my body wants to do to clear it. This is what the divine wisdom, not my brain, right? I don't want to write some freaking list of how am I going to get past this? How am I going to get past this block? That's surface level shit, right? That pattern is going to keep repeating itself because you got to keep mowing the lawn. You got to keep mowing the lawn. So you just go, you rip it out by the roots, but you've got to find the practices that get you in deep, right? Find the circle that gets you in deep. Find something that will get you in to the guts of it. And sometimes the brain can't go there. So also to be okay with the fact that you may not know what it is that you're de-rubbling, right? You may not know why it is that your body is doing this and opening up like a crazy woman, right? But it's the depths. That's where the magic is at. That's where the magic is. That's where the big transformation is at. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Stephanie, I see, what if the fear feels more like a knowing and then it scares the shit out of you? How do you know the difference? Well, that's different in everybody, right? So it's back to the start of the video when I talked about knowing thyself and starting to know what are our markers, right? The stronger our relationship is with the deep wise part of self. Oh, my battery's going low. Okay. The stronger our relationship is with Shakti, with wisdom, with divine body wisdom, we just know, right? Like, oh, my hands are cold. I can't even snap. You know. But at the start, you don't know. So you kind of have to just experiment. You have to feel. Take yourself deep. You have to feel what's true. What do I know? What's the feeling, right? But then further on down the track, you just come into this like gorgeous relationship with your deep, wise knowing. You just know. There is no question. It's a knowing. But it will show up differently for everybody. So Some women will know based on based on a feeling. Some women will know just by like gnosis, like, I don't know how I know it. I don't feel it in my body. I just know it. Some women it'll be like a visualization in a particular way. Or some women, it will be a voice coming from a particular place or a different spot. So it's different for all of us. We're all totally unique beings. And that's why like the biggest thing we can do is know thyself. So it's finding the markers and then noticing them and then going, that's my marker. This is when I'm bullshitting myself, right? This is when it's true feeling. This is legitimate fear, right? Like this is legitimate walk away from something. Sorry, I shouldn't say fear. This is legitimate walk away from something feeling. This is how it feels when I legitimately know that I need to walk away from something. But this is how it feels when I know that I need to walk towards something despite the fact that it's a little bit, feels like, I think that's the best that I can do. We have all the answers within. Yay, Babs! I love that. Okay. Fear becomes the doorway. Yeah, Denny, I love that. What else? I'm just seeing if there's any other questions. Okay, I think we should end there. How do we do with question and answers? I thought it would be fun to just change things up. Okay, my gorgeous goddess friends, it's Christmas. It's Christmas. Do you see this red bow? Like I specifically put up this little red bow for us. And we didn't get snow. I'm sorry, I'm waiting around too. I love the crap out of all of you. I love our circles. I love doing live streams. I'm going to keep doing them every week. I'll do one next week too. So in between Christmas and New Year's, I know lots of people take breaks, but I just want to hold circle. Like if 2 women show up, well, then we just sit in small circle. So I'll be here next week. Same thing, Thursdays for the US or this side of the world, and Fridays for the other side of the world. Merry Christmas, I love that. So happy holidays, whatever holiday that you're celebrating. I wish you lots and lots of love and lots of yumminess. Hopefully you got something out of this video, even if it's just to like feel connected or feel like you're in circle. Would love to sit in inner circle with you if that sings to you. So it's really easy. Just go to the website, rewildingforwomen.com, and then you can watch the little intro video. I might film a new intro video right after we get off of this call. So you can look for a new little video coming out, and I'll send an email. So also, if you're not subscribed to our newsletter, we send lots of stuff out just to subscribers. Like this morning, I sent a little newsletter out saying, hey, heads up, live stream happening today. So we do other stuff too, like other just cool deals and other just cool content that we don't really share outside of newsletters. So make sure that you do that, and you can do that on the website too. All right, my sweet, gorgeous, goddess, wild, big, deep, mama loving friends, have an awesome Christmas, and I will talk to you next week, or I will see you in the inner circle to welcome you if you join us. Okay, lots of love. Mwah!